We better cool off, man, by the way. You know what I mean? A couple more episodes of the caliber we've been doing. People are going to say, don't bring Roan back.
We'll hit a wall.
Wally Pip.
We'll hit a wall.
Wally Pip is a result of children.
We got maybe 2 more of these in us, and then the walls come crumbling down. And we're right back to talking about like new bit ideas. Remember that episode that we did?
No, not really.
We did an episode where it was just us and we just talked about new ideas for bits, like vague concepts. I was like, one of my dogs is cute and one of them is ugly. There's got to be something there.
It's not. I know it's something. There's something there. All right, 1, 2, check. Test. Here we are.
Alrighty, welcome back to the Son of a Boy Dad podcast.
You didn't even do your mic check.
Yeah, I did.
Oh, I suppose you did.
Yeah. It's April 21st. We are here live from HQ3. Welcome back to the show.
You go headphones under your coat.
I do.
Why is that?
I do that all the time. Even if I just have a t-shirt on, I'll put it under the t-shirt.
Why?
I don't like it being out.
Willy-nilly.
Well, it's a lot. It's a lot of wire there.
You know, cord. Another fix would be
what?
To have the current technology of earbuds.
Well, I've had 3 pairs of those and I've lost all of them.
So you don't think that you deserve to have the expensive ones anymore?
No, I just don't. I don't feel like having to go buy new $300 headphones once a week.
This is exactly my thought process.
But now I have
about
good
sunglasses.
headphones. Really? Because I just bought new sunglasses.
What kind?
Costas.
Oh, nice. Those are good for fishing.
That's why I got them.
They have
blue tint.
Are they polarized?
Yeah.
Yeah, because you got to cut through the water if you're looking for big browns.
It's great for sight fishing.
Yeah.
It's honestly great for what we were doing in Virginia.
Yep.
Yeah.
I figured those guys, they were able to spot the cobia so far away. And I said, why is that? And then I realized it's because of the sunglasses.
They had sunglasses,
wearing. Yeah. That's it.
It is insane how much of a difference it makes.
Crazy.
I never believed it. And then I put on Bose. He just has sun clouds. You're familiar with sun clouds?
No. But when you said Bose, I was thinking the sound system.
The headphones.
Because
we were talking headphones earlier. And now we're talking sunglasses.
Yeah, there you go.
We move
Once
quick.
Again,
we move fast.
The pages.
Yeah.
Ripped apart.
But sun clouds, they make like cheap, not cheap, but they're like not expensive. Like they're like $50.
Yeah.
For a pair, and they're great. Work well.
Cool.
Yeah.
Hell yeah.
Look into them.
I got hit up by a company and they're sending me some, but I don't. It's just gonna say their name really quick because I'm excited to have them, and it's Randolph sunglasses. You ever seen those?
Yeah, Randy's.
You ever seen them?
Yeah.
Makeup aviators.
Yeah.
It's polarized. They're all made in the USA.
Mm-hmm.
So they sent me a pair, and I'm pretty stoked. I think they're gonna be there when I get home.
I think mine are gonna be there when we get home. We'll send each other photos.
Why is everything a competition with you?
How is that a competition?
I say I think they're going to be there when I get home, and you go, I think mine are going to be there when I get home.
And then I said, let's send each other photos when we get home.
So it wasn't so much a competition as it was...
No, I was just relating to what you were saying, that we both have sunglasses that will be there when we get home.
Yeah, I think I've heard something psychologically or pathologically about how, oh my God. Before I say that, can I tell you a funny story?
Of course.
So you don't celebrate Easter, right? Because you're a...
No, I do. I didn't celebrate it this year.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
That's a pretty big... I get Christmas, but Easter as a Jewish person seems really...
Well, we get together.
To do what? Celebrate the resurrection of Christ?
Yeah, he's risen. You think we're not going to celebrate?
No.
He was one of us. Anytime one of us comes back to life, we're going to celebrate.
Mm-hmm. That all confuses me.
That Jesus was Jewish?
Yeah.
Why?
Louis
has a great bit about
why
it.
would Christianity celebrate him as their Messiah if he is Jewish?
Because Judaism was around before Catholicism.
Ooh, them's fighting words.
But it's not fighting
You
words.
came with your fangs today, bro.
Louis
On the
has a
day
great...
that the Pope is dead, my namesake, the man for whom I was named, Pope Francis.
Pope Francis. I'm trying to remember if it was Louis or Joe List that has the bit about... I think it's Louis about Jesus, him telling his friend that Jesus was Jewish. And he was like, I don't think so. And he's like, no, he was.
Uh-huh.
And he's like, what do you think? He was wearing the crucifix? And he was like, holy shit, that's me.
That's Louis.
Yeah,
I think I've heard that. So yeah, really quick. I mean, let's just cover sort of Easter and what it means to you and your family, because I get a little confused about this kind of you know, you're picking and choosing. You're kind of talking out of both sides of your mouth.
Yeah, big time pick and choose.
And
It's one of the perks being 50-50.
Yeah, it feels like you can't really have it both ways, and you're choosing to have it all. Which you know, that next thing you know, you're going to be fucking, you know, saying Allah Akbar on 9/11.
Well,
and saying like this is the great day of our faith.
That's crazy.
Telling me you can't record today because you're too hungry from Ramadan. And using all different manner of, or let's say that someone attacked us, you and me, on the street.
It's anti-Semitic.
And I was like,
it's a hate crime.
No, you'd say, I can't retaliate and defend us because I am a practicing Buddhist and peace is a core tenet of our faith.
Well, I am a practicing Buddhist, but that's not a religion. That's spirituality.
Are you sure?
Yes, positive.
Hinduism?
Well, Hinduism and Buddhism aren't the same thing.
Really?
Yeah.
Boy, I get those confused.
Yeah.
Will you explain to me the difference between those two?
Don't know them, but I know they're not the same thing.
I know
Buddhism's not a religion.
Are not all Hindus Buddhist?
No.
Are all Buddhists Hindu?
I think Buddhism is more of like a way of living. Right? Am I wrong on that? I don't even think Buddhism is considered a religion at all.
Okay. Well, listen, we don't pretend to be experts on everything on this podcast.
Buddhism is a religion.
Okay.
I was wrong. Although some consider it a philosophy as well. That's me. I'm more on the philosophy side.
I would also go so far as to say you weren't wrong if you said that.
Now, Buddhism, one of the major world religions.
Okay, well then you're wrong, yeah.
Began in India around the 6th century BCE.
Can you tell me a little bit about Hinduism and Buddhism? Do they go hand in hand? Can one be both?
Let's see. Are Buddhism and Hinduism the same? No.
Are they very different?
Buddhism and Hinduism are not the same, although they share common origins and some overlapping beliefs and practices. Buddhism originated as a reform movement within Hinduism, and while they both share concepts like karma, reincarnation, and spiritual liberation, they differ significantly in their views on the existence of a supreme God, the nature of self, and the path of enlightenment.
So that's really interesting. So it sounds like Buddhism is to Hinduism what Protestantism is to Catholicism.
Yeah.
Isn't that fascinating?
Yeah, it is.
That's cool.
Yeah.
Amazing that these reform movements have spawned such large branches of the parent religion.
Yeah.
But that is interesting, right? That does mean that Buddhism was once or is sort of fathered by Hinduism.
Yeah.
Got it. Well.
Yeah, that's why I didn't think it was a religion.
Okay. We're talking about your faith. We're talking about
Easter.
Yeah, and how you guys got together. So you make a point to see your family on Easter?
Typically, yeah.
What's more important to your family, Easter or Passover?
We've never celebrated Passover ever.
Do you do Hanukkah?
No.
You don't do any Jewish holidays?
We celebrated Hanukkah when I was young.
What made you decide to move on from that?
We didn't. We weren't really into it.
Oh, so it's just
as a group.
How appealing the holidays are that makes you say we're done with this.
I'm not a very religious person.
I don't expect it to be you.
And my family isn't either. I would say we were. I grew up Catholic. It was always kind of weird because my dad wasn't Catholic, and he would go to church with us, and he would just sit there,
Yeah.
and then we'd go get communion, and he would leave.
He'd leave during
He would go
communion?
stand in the back and wait for us to be done.
He wouldn't go up and put the
No.
hands?
He's a grown man. He's not gonna go up to the fucking
Dude, can I tell you something?
priest and give him the X.
One time I went to a wedding
Yeah.
that was a Catholic wedding.
Yeah.
You ever been to one of those? The Catholic mass weddings?
Oh yes, my cousins.
They're long.
This one wasn't too long. It was probably the same length as a normal mass.
They're long and dark.
Dark.
Mm-hmm.
Ours was pretty positive.
Well, it's all in Latin. They're singing their dirge.
Okay, so no, I have not been to one of these weddings.
Yeah. A Catholic mass wedding, and you say it's the same as a regular mass. Well, regular mass is long.
It is. It's like 45 minutes to an hour.
Correct.
Yeah.
And so most wedding ceremonies are not that long.
How long are they?
Well, we always do an over-under, my buddies and I, when we're at weddings together.
Yeah.
We always set a line at how long we think from the start of the procession, first person to come down the aisle, right,
Mm-hmm.
to when we're clapping as they walk off.
I was the first person to go down the aisle at my cousin's wedding.
Really?
Second, sort of. First, brought my grandmother down.
You brought your grandmother down?
I walked my grandmother down the aisle.
And did the officiant not precede you?
I don't think so now.
That's unusual.
I don't
Usually,
know.
I think the officiant goes first.
No, I'm pretty sure it was me and my grandma. Like 99.9% sure.
And then you deposited her.
I deposited her and went back to my seat.
Oh, and you went back to your seat. So
Yeah.
you weren't a groomsman.
I was not a groomsman, no.
That's nice.
Yeah.
Okay, whatever. I don't really know why we went there. About your grandmother and stuff like that.
Because you're telling stories about these weirdly religious weddings that you go to where they're speaking in Latin tongues.
Yeah, that's a Catholic mass wedding.
I went to a Catholic mass wedding. We weren't preaching in Latin.
That wasn't the one you went to. Was not a Catholic mass.
It
wedding.
was. It was at a Catholic church in Massachusetts.
Was there a priest?
Yes.
So that's who the officiant would have been, right? The priest officiates the wedding.
Priest was already up there.
Makes sense. I can live with that.
Okay.
Then
Who did you think it was going to be? The Pope?
I said, who was the officiant? And you were like, I don't know. And I said, usually the officiant, you hadn't made it clear to me that the wedding that had your grandmother, where you said,
Yeah.
dropped her off to whatever. I don't know what she did from that point.
Sat down.
How old is she?
In her 80s?
Okay. Well, my point being,
It's a respectable thing to do. You wouldn't do that.
no, I think that's fine.
You wouldn't help your grandmother down the aisle.
I would.
You seem to have a little bit of pushback on it.
Here's my issue.
You were waiting for something to pounce on.
Here's my issue.
With me walking my grandmother down the aisle at my cousin's wedding. What's the issue?
I didn't know that was the Catholic wedding.
Okay.
I thought that was a different wedding.
No, that was the Catholic
All
wedding.
right, so I'm picturing you in Hawaii,
No.
going down the aisle with your wedding, dropping your grandmother off, you filing back to your seat, me saying you're not a groomsman, wondering why would they have you guys walk down the aisle at all?
Oh, yeah, I could see the confusion there.
Do you see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But it sounds like all the family came down the aisle because it's a Catholic mass. You file into your pews,
Mhm.
indoors, right?
Mm-hmm.
Vaulted ceilings,
Mhm.
stained glass windows,
You're describing a church, yeah.
big one, huge,
Yeah.
organ,
Yeah. Nice one, too.
haunting,
Yeah.
Haunting
not
organ.
quite. Pleasant.
young altar boys lighting candles. No?
Not really.
With that
That's kind of
wand
that
thing.
kind of died out a little bit, I think. The whole altar boy.
Hmm.
I wouldn't be surprised if there's significantly less altar boys now than there were even like 15 years ago.
You think it's because of that movie?
Spotlight.
Yeah.
I don't think it helped.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, because I was like, I used to like read at church and shit. Like I'd go up on stage on Sundays and have to read like something out of the Bible.
Wow, you were deep in it.
I did it like twice.
I can't believe your family quit after you were
we
committed.
saw Spotlight as a family. We went to the theater, 7 p.m. showing.
And that was it.
Yeah,
That was
and
a
then
wrap.
We were like, well, I guess we're Jews now.
And your dad was like, finally,
Yeah.
come on over. I've been
Yeah.
waiting in the back
Yeah.
all this time. Come on over.
Yeah.
Now, not for nothing. Just so we're clear here, I don't want to play favorites. I've been to a conservative Jewish wedding, just as boring.
Yeah, I'm sure.
Really boring.
Yeah,
Unbelievably boring.
I'm sure.
They walk around the couple like 3 times, or maybe the woman walks around the husband as if she's like trying to cast a spell on him.
Yeah, I've never been to one of those. I've only seen it in Goodfellas.
And it's all in a different language.
Yeah.
Hebrew. Hebrew. And you don't, I don't think you get the vows. You don't get the vows that are lovely. Jessica, from the moment I met you, I said to myself, one day we will be here in Temple Beth El Shabbat.
I feel like the entire time I was at my cousin's wedding, I was because like the Catholic Church, or in general, for any of these weird like ceremonies that you have to do, like First Communion, confirmation, like all that shit, I feel like 90% of it is just knowing where you're supposed to go next.
Yeah.
And the entire time I was at my cousin's wedding, I was just like, when do I go get my grandmother? Like I that was all I was thinking about.
To get her out of there.
To leave. I was like, I don't know when this is going to end, because I'm going to have to be the first person that stands up, because my grandmother's the first person that walks out, I guess.
She's got to go first.
Yeah.
Because she doesn't have that much time.
No. She does have plenty of time, but she was...
How do you know that?
Well, you'd assume. She's healthy.
You said she's...
In her 80s.
Do you know which side?
Which side of her 80s?
Mm-hmm.
I would say, below 85.
Oh, she's in her young 80s.
Yeah. Yeah.
She's in her early 80s.
Yeah.
I don't think there is such a thing as early 80s.
I think there is.
You're just in
There's
your 80s.
There's a big difference between early 80s and late 80s.
No, there's like early 20s.
Late 80s is like a dog, the difference between like a dog being 9 and 10. 9, you're like, look at this little pup. 10, you're like, all right.
No, mathematically, wouldn't it be the difference between being like 12 and 13?
I have no idea. I didn't run the numbers.
Well,
I didn't do the math.
12 is 84. 13 is 91.
In dog years?
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't actually break it down in dog years.
But then again, a lot of breeds don't make it to 12.
Yeah.
Which is kind of why I'm so impressed that your grandmother's skipping down the aisle and
well,
jumping out of the
That's why I had
church
to help
go
her.
get Arby's or something.
That's why I had to help. No, but
you
go
were
outside.
assigned to her because everyone knew you get fidgety in those long ceremonies.
No, not true
They
at all.
said Harry's young.
No, I don't get
He's
fidgety.
in his early 20s.
I don't get fidgety at those things.
I know you.
No.
You can sit still for an hour through one of those things?
Easily.
Really?
Easily.
Man, I went nuts.
I just check out.
And we went to a Protestant church. We went to an Episcopalian
You got to
church.
talk at those.
You could do anything there.
Yeah.
You could make out with a dude.
Yeah, you can.
They're big on that.
They're open.
Very progressive.
Yeah.
Yeah.
A lot of thruples.
Dude, by the way, quick story. One time, this guy in our neighborhood, his house burned down, and I had just been told about it on the way to church.
Yeah.
Right? And so in church, that they were doing that thing where they were offering prayers for people or wishing goodwill on various members of the community. And they mentioned the church. And I went, oh!
Why?
Because I knew about it. I was like 9. And I couldn't help myself. And I just, I know about that.
Yeah.
I remember everyone's heads turned to me. Every single person in the church.
But then they found
as though I lit the match.
Yeah. Or it started the dryer.
That's right.
Was it a dryer?
A lint fire? I don't know.
I think that's what it is 90% of the time.
Really?
I feel like people's houses, every time someone's house burns down, I feel like they're always like, it was the dryer. I saw something on Instagram the other day that was extremely concerning, and it was someone cleaning the lint out of their dryer. And they were like, why does no one tell us about this? It's like, I think it's like the first thing people tell you when you get a dryer.
That one, and the drawer that has the water.
Yeah.
The water drawer, which one of the most satisfying things.
Removing the water.
Taking the water out and dumping it.
Oh, yeah.
It's so good. Also, do you ever think when you do something like that if the world ended and you had to go out on a foraging mission, you would check all the dryers for water? Things like that.
Yeah, that's smart.
You know, you siphoned all the
Definitely
nearby
would check them for
cars
flint.
of gasoline. Well, what are you going to use flint for? Starting a fire? You've got plenty of birch bark. At that point, you figured out better
Not
ways.
until it rains, you don't.
You've kept the
You ever
coal
try to start fire
from
with
the
rain?
previous night's fire warm, which you can blow on, as the Wabanaki tribe did.
I'm assuming multiple different tribes did that.
I'm going to go with Wabanaki on this
Alright.
one. Do you know that there were Wabanakis and Abenakis?
I did.
No, you didn't.
There's like 800 different variations of Naki.
Is that right? We had a big Wabanaki presence in Maine. That's where they were.
Up in the sticks. They
And-
like to keep them right on the border of Canada.
To honor them, we named a lot
Yeah.
of rivers after
I'm sure.
their nomenclature.
Yeah.
I think the Cobbessee County
Mm-hmm.
is after them. The Androscoggin, that might be a different tribe.
Lake Winnipesaukee.
Yeah, that's there. That's New Hampshire though,
Yeah.
right? All right, let's stay on point here. All right, so
I'm not really sure what the point is.
no, but that's I'm dancing. I'm float like a butterfly, sting like a bee.
Yeah.
You don't know, you don't see me coming.
No, I do.
No, you think you do. And then I got you with that old grandmother thing.
No.
That
All
was
right,
a-
continue.
That was a body shot. So back to you guys switched from Catholicism to Judaism. That's a big leap. I've never heard of someone doing that.
We didn't switch.
You just said.
I was kidding when I said we left Spotlight
Well,
as
you're
a
gonna have
family
to be
and
a
said
little-
we're Jews now.
Yeah, but you
I
said
wasn't being serious.
you said your dad said we're leaving, and you guys went over there.
No, that's not what happened at all. We just stopped. I mean, people in my family are still Catholic. and
Sounds like it.
I'm sure some of
Dragging
them.
your grandmother down the aisle.
Well, my grandmother's still Catholic, but yeah, I mean, we just stopped. We don't really go to church anymore as much as we used to, and yeah, we kind of just faded away.
Okay, so you faded away from religion altogether.
I wouldn't say I faded away from religion altogether. I'm just not really super diehard on one.
Okay, so you're a man of many faiths.
I have many beliefs.
A polytheist. A
Yeah,
polytheist.
I'm a polytheist.
Okay. And so you, as it pertains to what I would consider to be my most holy day,
Easter.
you do take part in that.
On Easter?
Yeah.
No.
You said you guys got together.
We get together, but I didn't. I was in New York. I didn't do anything.
Did your family get
Yeah,
together?
they got together.
You all got together in New York.
No, they got together in Massachusetts. I missed Easter.
Did you Zoom in or anything?
No, I talked to my mom.
That's it?
Yeah.
Were you on speaker?
No.
Did she pass along your thoughts to the rest of the family?
No.
So you have separated from your family's religion into your own thing.
No, I just couldn't go home this weekend.
Doesn't it sound like that? Yeah. Now,
But
what
my
was it
family
about-
didn't go to church. Like, they had brunch.
what was it about your family's new religion that you said, I don't want to take part in
It's
that?
not their new religion. They don't have a new religion.
Well, they're
My
getting
family
together.
is not celebrating a new religion.
They're getting together on Easter, so they're still
They got
holding
together
on
to have fucking eggs and bacon.
I love that.
Yeah.
That's a fun way to celebrate Easter. Most people eat. There's like an Easter brunch.
Yeah.
I had lamb. I cooked lamb.
Sounds awful.
That was great.
Sounds terrible.
Tenderloin over smashed
even
potatoes,
worse. Tenderloin is
and some
nasty.
carrots.
Oh
Why?
my
Why? You
God.
don't like lamb?
Nothing worse than when you'd go downstairs for dinner and my mom would be like, "We're having pork tenderloin."
No, lamb tenderloin. No, is it
Gad.
tenderloin?
Ooh.
Rack of lamb. Is that tenderloin? Rack of lamb? Like Frenched sort of lollipop
Yeah.
lamb. It was great.
And you had mashed potatoes with it.
Not mashed potatoes. I took potatoes and I boiled them, and then I sort of smashed them with a spoon, sprinkled olive oil, salt, pepper, and then broiled them in the oven
Nice.
to finish them and crisp them up.
Little broil.
And then I did carrots, which
Yum.
I've described my carrot recipe
for the
before.
bunnies,
Well, no.
for the rabbits.
But this is all why I brought all of this up
Yeah.
before I got very distracted by your family's completely complicated religious devotion. I still couldn't make sense of
Yeah.
how diverse your family's interests are,
Yeah.
let alone try to figure out what you are now subscribing to, because you're not even taking part in what they do.
Buddhism mostly.
I like that for
Yeah.
you.
The art of living.
The art of sitting.
The art of living.
Okay, get this though. So my sister has a neighbor.
Yeah. Where were
And,
you this weekend?
I was upstate.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. My sister has a neighbor, and they were gonna do a joint Easter egg hunt with their neighbors.
Yeah.
Their neighbors have a few kids.
Yeah.
And the neighbors' parents, they set out Easter eggs at night for the next day.
Yeah.
Hid them.
Mhm.
And the next morning, they woke up and found that all like 45 Easter eggs
Yeah.
had been cracked open, and every single piece of candy in them had been eaten. And the remains of the eggs were scattered around the yard.
Damn.
And it was their 4-year-old son
Damn.
who woke up at 2 a.m.
Yeah.
and went out into the yard under the cover of moonlight and foraged and found all of the eggs, ate the candy, and then went back to bed.
That's insane. That's so brutal.
Can you imagine?
Yeah, that's crazy.
That's I mean, I used to hunt for Christmas presents, which
Yeah, I did.
you probably didn't do that because you guys were.
No, I do have vague memories of being outside at like 1 a.m. on Christmas Eve.
Christmas Eve, looking up
Yeah.
at the roof, wondering, can that hold the weight of 8 reindeer and
I
Santa?
remember going outside and my mom was doing something in the yard because we had chickens at the time. I remember going outside and being like, I can't sleep. And my mom was like, why are you out here? Like, it was so late and I was so young. I was probably like 8 years old. And it was like I was outside looking for my mom at 1 a.m.
Christmas is kind of a battle for parents of young children
Yeah.
because you get them as excited as you can through the
Yeah.
early years,
Yeah.
right? When they're 3 and 4. When my niece, I'm always with my family for Christmas because
Yeah.
we're pretty devoted to one
Yeah.
faith. And I'm always with them, and I hype my niece up on Christmas.
Yeah.
I sit her down and I tell her the true story about Santa Claus
Mhm.
in the most minute detail.
Yeah. I'm sure she appreciates that.
Well, she loves it,
Yeah, I'm sure.
but she's also kind of like shocked.
yeah.
She's shocked
Yeah.
because I'm explaining things in a, again, talking about like why we had to reinforce the weight of our roof
Mm-hmm.
for Santa. And we opted for a flat roof so he'd have
Yeah.
an easier landing. We have lights up there, a landing strip, things like that.
Yeah.
But I know that all of that is going to set the groundwork for her to be so filled with excitement when she's 6 and 7 that it's going to make it very hard for her parents to
Yeah.
make Christmas happen.
Yeah. I think that was like the first time I ever experienced like not being able to sleep.
I lost you there for a second.
I kind of didn't understand what you meant when you said it was going to make it hard for Christmas to happen.
Because
for
the parents have to set the presents out during the night when the kids are asleep. But
Yeah.
as you said, you went on the
Oh
hunt.
yeah, you go hunting.
You go hunting.
Yeah.
Normally, I would hunt before Christmas.
Like with the weeks leading up.
Yeah, looking in hiding places for presents.
Interesting. Yeah, I didn't ever do that. Or I guess I kind of did that a little bit, but I always kind of was like, I don't even really want to find anything.
You were that man. That's very altruistic of you as a young boy.
Like I would look, but I would hope I didn't find.
Well, that's how it
But I
is with
couldn't
me
help
in like
myself from looking.
relationships when I'm going through girls' phones.
Yeah. You don't want to find the texts.
But you're gonna.
Well, I never found the presents. I found presents once at my grandmother's house,
One time, I
and
was
they were
dating
all
this girl.
and they were all addressed to Santa. Or they were all addressed from Santa, and I remember I brought them out, and I was like, "What the fuck are these?"
What, really?
Yeah,
This was before Christmas?
yeah.
All
All
of-
they got to do is be like, "Oh, he came early. Those are for the dogs," and I was like, "Oh, of course, that makes sense."
That's what they said?
Yeah, something like I was like 6.
That's pretty quick-witted.
Yeah,
Pretty quick thinking.
yeah. Those
Was
are
that-
gifts for the dogs.
Do you know if that was your mom or your dad that said that?
I don't remember. I just remember that was like the go-to.
That's pretty good.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, truly fascinating. You said something that we glossed over, which I want to come back to, which is that you had chickens.
Yes, we did.
Wow. What was that like?
I've had chickens like 3 different times throughout my life.
And then you get rid of them, and then you get more?
Yeah, pretty much.
Because they die?
They die.
All of them.
All of them.
Do they die together?
I don't really know how it works. Or I guess we've had chickens. No, I think it was technically 3 times. There's 2. We had chickens when I was young, when I was in like middle school, and then we moved, and now we have chickens. We had chickens recently, but I want to say they're all dead. But they get killed all the time.
But how?
By
Coyotes?
coyotes and foxes and hawks.
So
and eagles.
is that because you don't have a reinforced coop?
No, I don't really know. I think our chickens that we had now were more, they could just go wherever. They would
Free
kind of
range.
just walk around. Yeah.
Yeah.
And then when we had them when we were younger, they were in a coop, but they were like fighting each other. We had to like give one of them away.
Cockfighting.
Yeah, they were cockfighting.
And you sent that one to Mexico.
We sent that one to Mexico, I believe.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
We rotisted it.
Yeah.
We turned it into a nice tiss.
You cooked it?
Yeah.
The fighting one?
Yeah.
Must have been pretty gamey.
Oh, yeah.
That's a muscular cock.
Very chewy.
And just to be clear, I'm not using cock in your sense.
No, of course. Using it in the chicken sense.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Are all cocks male chickens?
I'm not sure. Cock-a-doodle-doo.
That's right. All right, let's get you back on track here. I'm losing you here, and I don't want to, because I'm having fun.
I'm having fun too.
I know, but I'm not giving you what you want, and I apologize. I like to talk about your life, and I like to learn about you and your family, because you guys fascinate me.
Yeah.
You had chickens. Did you have any other pets?
We've had bunnies, chickens, dogs.
Did you live on like a big plot of land? Did you have a lot of land?
Not when I was growing up. My parents do now, though.
They've done well later in life.
They have land now.
They've become landowners.
They have land.
That is, it usually does take a while.
Yeah.
To buy lots of land and accumulate lots of land. And so now, your dogs, do they roam outside? Do you guys have the invisible fence?
Yes, we talked about that last episode.
I remember us having to install the invisible fence on our property.
Yeah, we did too.
We had a guy come.
Yeah.
But he'd always leave a hole.
Yeah.
One small section for whatever reason. And the dogs would find it, and then they'd run down the street and eat the neighbor's chickens.
Oh, we never had a hole like that. I thought you meant they would leave a hole in the ground.
Oh, and dig under the fence?
For like where no, you said the guy left a hole.
Oh, no. Right. Okay.
He left a hole in the fence.
Yeah.
And the dogs would find the hole.
They would. And
That's
they would
crazy.
Escape. Yeah.
I'm pretty sure it's like the way they do it is like, I think they can pretty easily break out of it, but like they go near it once and then they're just like, well, I guess I'm just never going to cross that point again.
Yeah. I mean, training your dog on an electric fence is sad. You got to shock them. Hey, remember how we used to walk through here and nothing would happen? All right, let's do it again. Oh, what's that mysterious beeping? In no way could that be a warning of the unbelievable, eye-watering pain you're about to experience around your neck.
Yeah. My sister's dogs they just have like the collars on all the time.
They just keep them on them?
Like they have like a little handheld
shock. They can shock them.
Well, they don't shock them. They do the sound.
The stimulation.
It's just a high-pitched sound. It's not they don't get zapped.
Right.
They can, though. They can zap.
Well, first they play hit the stimulation.
Yeah.
And if that doesn't work, then they zap them.
Yeah, but the sound always works.
We bought one of those collars for our dog.
Yeah.
And we were worried about how intense it was.
Yeah.
And so I held it in my hand because it
zapped.
felt like I felt that I didn't want to do to the dog anything that I wasn't willing to endure myself.
Yeah.
And I told my wife, hit it, on the low.
Yeah.
And instead of hitting the low button, she hit the panic button.
Ooh.
Those sort of red alert,
Dog's attacking someone right now.
He's biting off the face of a child.
Put him down.
Put him down.
Yeah.
Basically,
you hit the put him down button.
Yeah.
And what happened? Did it hurt?
Bro, I felt a shock through my skeleton.
Yeah.
I mean, it started in my fingers. It went all the way through I remember my elbow exploding. And it went all the way up my arm, and it felt like I got it in my organs.
Yeah, you probably did.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It felt like the sort of thing where if I had been in cardiac arrest, this would have brought me back.
It also probably is meant to shock dogs in a different way than it is humans.
I don't know, man.
I
it was
imagine
so
it probably
bad.
hurts more for a human to bare skin, put it on their hands.
I don't think their fur is really stopping much. Maybe that they have looser skin. Have you ever done it to a dog? They yelp deeply. They're terrified.
Again, we don't use the shock button.
Well, the point is that after I felt
sound.
that shock, we said we're never going to use this on the dog.
Yeah, it makes sense.
Because it was so intense.
Yeah.
Made my teeth chatter.
That's fucked.
I knocked my teeth together.
Theirs might not actually even have the shock option. We only
put them down option.
The put them down option. They definitely don't have a panic option.
Yeah. Red alert. Dog is eating neighbor's child's face.
Yeah, because my sister has 2 golden retrievers, and they're big.
Yeah.
And when I come home, my sister and her fiance will come back to my parents' house
to
hang out, and they'll bring their dogs, and then we have 2 dogs. Now you got 4 dogs roaming around.
Whoa.
And most of them don't like each other.
Well, you've got the one that bites all the mailmen.
Exactly.
And then all of your best friends.
And he doesn't get along with their dogs.
There's a part of me that wants to visit your non-denominational house.
And our living room is very small. So it's just like there's just constantly dog on you. Like there's a dog within 1 foot of you at all times.
I love that.
You like it, but you don't like it when there's 4 dogs barking simultaneously at each other.
A lot. That's where you want panic buttons on
That's when you
all
got
of
the
them.
sound.
And you just do it to one, and then he lets everyone else know.
Yeah, they're buzzing right now.
Yeah.
Fall back.
They're not bluffing.
Yeah. Fall back. I just got hit.
Yeah.
I just got stung.
Yeah. Who's next?
Yeah.
It's not going to be me. I already took mine.
Yeah.
Well, I have this dream of visiting your incredibly religiously diverse family.
Yeah.
And I would wonder if when I met the dog that bites Lilo.
How you'd bite.
Stitch?
Yeah.
Stitch?
Yeah.
And I can't tell if I would want to sort of approach the dog the way Crocodile Dundee goes
That's how
up
you'd
to
have to.
animals and let it know, I'm a friend. I come in peace. I understand why you behave the way that you do, but I just want you to know I don't judge you for it.
I think that's all bluff, though. Like, I think that only works if you actually, but you know how, like, they say you can beat a lie detector test if you actually believe what you're saying?
Sure.
I think it's like that. Like, I think the animals could sense it. Like, if you got a grizzly bear coming at you, like, you know that you ever watch Grizzly Man?
Oh, yeah, of course.
You know how he can kind of like,
yeah,
he uses his words and his.
Oh, that's ridiculous.
His vibes.
I mean, he got eaten.
Well, after like 3 years in the woods of Alaska, or way more than 3 years.
So he did pretty well.
He beat the odds.
Yeah.
For a while.
The grizzly always wins.
The grizzly always wins.
Is the answer.
But again, fucking the dog whisperer, like, he's got to believe what he's saying.
Yeah.
You can't just walk up to a dog and be like, you're safe.
Right. Only the penitent man.
Because the dog will be able to sense that. He'll be able to sense you're a little on edge.
Yes.
You've heard some stories.
Have you seen Indiana Jones and the Last Crusade?
Probably, but I don't remember it.
When he goes through the canyon of the Crescent Moon and enters Petra.
I never really got into Indiana Jones. TBH.
Okay. Well,
I was always more of a Rambo guy.
Mm-hmm.
Guy shit, men shit.
You were watching Rambo instead of Indiana Jones? I don't really put them in the same category.
I would. Star Wars.
By the way, there's nothing unmanly about Indiana Jones.
It's for women.
Why do you say that?
Harrison Ford.
Easy there. That's my guy. You don't think Sly Stallone's a heartthrob?
No.
Yeah, he's got that sort of demented face.
Yeah, not at all.
Droopy. Well, I want to visit your house and I want to befriend the dog. But I also think that if Stitch bit me, that would sort of complete the arc of your friends. Because right now, Nate, Bo, Peters have all been bitten. I'm the only one who
I'm
hasn't.
wondering if Peters has ever been bitten. I don't think he has.
I think he has.
I think it might just be Nate and Bo.
We should ask him.
I remember very vividly when Nate and Bo both got bit. And it was both times where my parents weren't home. And I had to call them and be like, Stitch just bit Nate. And my mom would be like, Jesus Christ.
How did Nate handle it?
He didn't. He was just like, I think your dog just bit me.
Oh, he didn't even know?
It was like Nate was skateboarding in our driveway.
Yeah.
And my dog
classic
just came
Nate.
up and like nibbled his, like got a piece of his leg.
Ugh.
And he was like, ah. But it wasn't a bad one.
Right. But the Bo one was bad?
No, the Bo one wasn't bad either.
Similar deal?
Similar deal?
Mm.
There was one bad one, and I wasn't there for it.
Who was that?
My cousin's boyfriend, or husband now. So I guess it didn't really
The
impact that
Catholic?
much. The Catholic?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, I think he's Catholic.
Well, they got married in a Catholic church.
Yeah, but people get married in Catholic churches all the time.
But usually that's an agreement between them and God.
Yeah, but it's also kind of an agreement between you and your parents.
Wait a second. Now I'm confused. Are we talking about the same cousin
Yes.
where you
But we're not talking about my cousin at all.
pushed your grandmother in a gurney down the aisle, removed her oxygen mask so that she could say her blessing to the couple? That couple?
Yes.
So it was the boyfriend at the time,
Yeah.
and Stitch bit him
Yeah.
badly.
I think, yeah.
Where?
The leg.
Made him bleed?
I don't think so.
Then why was it bad?
I wasn't there. I said that.
You just told us it was a bad bite. You know, I'm doing my best here.
He got locked. Well, we've been talking about my dog for 30 minutes.
We can move on. You know, if you want to take the reins, brother, you got anything interesting?
No, not really.
So there you go.
I mean, I got everything. I always got something interesting.
Let's hear it.
No, we can still continue the conversation.
No, I'm done. Okay? I did everything I could. And now you have said, I don't want to talk about
we
this
got
anymore.
out of the dog stuff, and then we went back to the dog stuff.
Well, you're talking about chickens and bites and all
Well, you were
this.
saying you want to come. You were proposing an idea where you're going to come tame my dog.
Or have him bite me so that I can have that and be bite brothers with my best friends, Bo, Peters, and Nate.
You're never going to be able to meet my
I'm
dog.
jealous of the fact that the three of them have that in common. They all get together under the full moon and show their scars.
I don't think Peter's
Meanwhile,
ever
I
been bit.
I haven't brushed off my skateboard in fucking years.
I know. It was my skateboard.
Was it?
Yeah.
That's cool.
It was my longboard.
Oh, shit.
I had the slide wheels.
Yeah.
Sick.
Mm-hmm.
Not good for riding, though.
No, never. All right. What happened to you? What do you got?
What happened to me? So much.
Yeah, what'd you do this weekend?
Oh, this weekend I actually didn't really do much.
Mm-hmm.
I had a pretty easy weekend.
Okay.
But I did, I'm not going to be in Edmonton this weekend.
Oh, my God. Oh, my God, dude. Are you for real?
Yeah.
Holy shit.
Didn't I tell you that?
Well, I thought you would have fucking sorted it out.
I think I told you. I was like, I talked to Mike. I'm not going to be able to go to Edmonton.
I forgot about that.
Yeah.
I thought you were really trying hard to go.
I was.
Spending a lot of money.
Oh, it's gone. Money's gone. Can't get a refund. Tried to get the refund. It said as soon as you download the documents, you no longer are eligible for a refund.
God, dude. Oh my God.
So it's just $800 just lit on fire. But
wow.
you know what the bummer of it is? Is that I found out that you could drive to Canada with a real ID, which I have.
Yeah. Can you?
Yes.
I thought there was a special thing you need. Like there's another certification on your license that you can opt for at the DMV.
I have it.
You did that?
Yeah.
They told me if you have a passport, don't even worry about it.
I did it before I had a light. Like I got it when I got my license. They were like, you're going to need this by 2025. You may as well just get it now.
Okay.
And I got it. But yeah, so apparently I could drive, but Edmonton's it's still too far.
Yeah,
even
what
if
are you talking
flew.
about? So why is that a bummer? To me, that sounds irrelevant.
Because I drove to Vancouver.
From
And that's
Seattle.
when I lost my passport. And I didn't even need my passport then.
Where did you leave it? On the plane?
Yeah. But I could have just driven.
No. Oh, I see what you're saying now.
I flew into Seattle, drove up to Vancouver, and then I flew out of Vancouver. But if I drove back through Seattle, I probably never would have lost my passport.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, I get it. How long was that drive again? Back to Seattle?
Only like an hour and a half, 2 hours.
So.
Easy. Ugly drive, though.
Yeah, right.
Hideous.
Well, you held it down, though.
I did. For an hour and a half,
You
I was
stopped
able to
people
maintain.
from passing.
There's never been more of a miscommunication on anything than that.
Oh, boy.
On the driving. Because since then,
oh no, man!
Since then, every time I drive, I look in the left lane, and I know what you guys are talking about. Where there's a guy going like 50 miles per hour in the left lane, causing all the traffic. That's not me.
We knew you weren't
That's
going
not me.
slowly.
That ain't me.
It doesn't matter.
It does. Oh,
you said you were going 80.
It so matters.
You were going 80. So you're still setting your own pace in the passing lane.
I'll push 90.
It doesn't matter.
It does. It does.
You're
breaking
just saying
through to
if
90,
I'm going
breaking through to 90 and then having a guy on your
I don't
tail.
buy that. I don't buy that though. I don't think
fine.
you're going
You can go
90.
around me, but I'm going to call the cops. Yeah, go around. I got your plates.
All right, let's take a minute to talk about game time.
Game time.
The NBA playoffs are here, and the only place to buy hard-to-get playoff tickets is Game Time, the official ticketing partner of Barstool Sports. With killer last-minute deals, all-in prices, views from your seat, and their lowest price guarantee, Game Time takes the guesswork out of buying NBA playoff tickets. Prices on the app, you actually go down the closer it gets to tip-off. You can save up to 60% when buying last-minute tickets. Check out those Knicks tickets, man. Boy, the Knicks look pretty good. I gotta say, they look like they're gonna have a cakewalk through this first round.
Yeah, you know who else looks good?
Who?
The Celtics.
The Celtics look pretty good, I will say.
Tatum doesn't look great, but
who?
Tatum didn't look great, but
no, but he had 15 rebounds or something like that. I like the fact that even when he's not really meshing rhythmically on the deep ball, the three-pointer, Sass.
Yeah.
I like the fact that he picks it up in other aspects of his game.
Sorry, I lost you there. I was looking at this amazing deal on Game Time. Look at these seats. Oh, look how you can look.
Dude,
where
you don't need to preach. You're preaching to the choir. I'm a Game Time disciple.
I mean, these are good seats, and these are only running you $142.
That's unbelievable for Celtics playoffs. On April 22nd for Earth Day, when you select and purchase a super deal, Game Time will plant a tree with the proceeds. I love that. You guys know how I feel about the Earth. We were looking at tickets for Celtics games, Sass, and you saw an amazing deal, $142. What are you waiting for? We're going to buy those Celtics tickets now. It'd be nice to go to a Celtics game.
Yeah, would
Head up to your house and spend the night there, get bitten by your dog.
Yeah.
Pray a little bit. Take the guesswork out of buying NBA playoff tickets with Game Time. Download the Game Time app, create an account, and use code BOYDAD for $20 off your first purchase. Terms apply. Again, create an account and redeem code BOYDAD for $20 off. Download the Game Time app today. What time is it?
Game time.
Game time.
The NBA 82 game grind is done, and now the fun begins. The NBA playoffs are here, and time for all the high-stakes drama, clutch moments, and jaw-dropping plays. If you're looking to make playoffs even more exciting, DraftKings Sportsbook has you covered as an official sports betting partner of the NBA. From play-in games all the way through the finals, now's the time to back your favorite players and teams as they chase glory. All season long, DraftKings has been the go-to spot for NBA player props. And that doesn't stop now. Want to make your playoff experience even more intense? Try placing a bet on your favorite player's performance. Will they drop 30 points, 40, or more? It's your call. Ready to place your first bet? Download the DraftKings Sportsbook app now, lock in your bet, and let's make the playoff run unforgettable. Here's something special for first-timers. New DraftKings customers bet $5 to get $200 in bonus bets instantly. Make it a playoff run to remember with DraftKings. Download the DraftKings Sportsbook app and use code BOYDAD. That's code BOYDAD for new customers to get $200 in bonus bets when you bet just $5. Only on DraftKings. The crown is yours.
All right, let's take a minute to talk about Rose Sparks. Rose Sparks are a 2-in-1 prescription treatment for stronger, harder erections. They hit the bloodstream faster because they dissolve under the tongue, and getting hard faster means having more sex. After they dissolve, they work in 15 minutes on average. Rose Sparks can give guys thicker, longer erections than you usually have because they get fuller. Rose Sparks give you the boost to last longer, so it's more fun for you both. And with Rose Sparks, you can get the erection you've always wanted. It connects guys with a medical provider 100% online, so there's no awkward conversation with in-person providers. That's nice, right? We're all a little self-conscious, okay? Rose Sparks does a great job of creating this in a sort of like an anonymous way that is all professional and above board and doesn't make you feel weird. If approved, treatment ships directly to their door. If prescribed, new sexual health patients get $15 off Sparks on a recurring plan. Connect with the provider at ro.co/sun to find out if the prescription Rose Sparks are right for you. That's ro.co/sun for $15 off your first order. Check out Rose Sparks. That's ro.co.
All right, let's talk about Kraken. If you're going to trade crypto, do it right. No sketchy platforms, no sketchier customer support. That's why we only trust Kraken. Kraken lets you buy, sell, and swap over 300 cryptos without the lag, crashes, or clownery. Buying crypto manually, that's old school. Recurring buys let you automate your investments, so you stack stats without even thinking about it. DCA done right. Buy more when prices dip, less when they spike. Link your bank account in minutes, set it, forget it, and let your profile grow. Kraken Pay, instant crypto payments, no more I'll Venmo you later excuses. Whether you're covering a lost bet, splitting the tab after a night out, or sending funds for the next wild adventure, Kraken Pay lets you move money instantly with zero fees and no banks holding things up. Oh, and refer to your friends. Kraken will hook you up with $200 in USDG just for spreading the love. So quit waiting. Head to kraken.com/barstool. No investment advice. Crypto trading involves a risk of loss and is offered to U.S. customers, excluding Washington, New York, and Maine, through Payward Interactive Incorporated.
Dude, my eyes have been fucking on fire from allergies. Do you have any?
Is that allergies? Because I've heard that from multiple different people.
Oh, my eyes. I can't. My face feels like I have ants crawling out
of
my
brain. Oh, yeah, you tweeted something about it. Yeah,
dude.
Did you get the
rotos?
So
bad. Well, I had 50 different
You want me to?
solutions.
I'll ask my grandmother what she uses, because they use, like, I remember seeing my grandmother put in eye drops one time, and they weren't like eye drops. They were called like gel drops, and it was like she was dropping like sludge into her eyes.
Dude, I mean,
that's what you need. You need fucking lube in there.
I know. Half the solutions that people suggested on Twitter were like, all right, spend the next 5 years acclimating your body to, doing this, or like start plant female trees in your backyard.
Yeah.
I don't have 40 years to solve this.
No. Did you try Rotos?
No.
You got it.
Rotos?
Rotos eye drops.
People said a bunch of different eye drops.
Rotos are the go-tos.
I was using the TheraTears.
No.
No?
Those are bullshit.
Are they?
Yeah.
They don't have preservatives in them because they're the single-use ones.
You want preservatives.
I need chemicals?
Yeah.
Those always make my eyes sting. I only use that when I've been smoking weed, and
these are going to make your eyes sting. Like,
convince my parents that I'm not high.
Like you couldn't even imagine. I remember that's how I found out about Rotos, because when we were in high school, my friends would smoke weed and put them in, and I put them in one time because I didn't smoke weed really in high school.
Your friends smoked weed, but you
and I had
eye drops.
I have chronic dry eye syndrome.
Chronic dry.
You're talking to an ally right now. I have chronic dry eye syndrome.
Chronic dry eye syndrome.
Yes, Austin Jennifer Aniston. You don't remember Jennifer Aniston's commercials?
No, I
about
remember chronic dry eye syndrome, or as we call it for short, the chronic.
The chronic. No. The chronic dry eye syndrome.
The chronic dry eye syndrome. The chronic.
But I remember I put them in, and it was like it hurts at first when you put the rotos in.
Yeah.
It's like dropping icy hot into your eyes.
Yeah.
And it burns. But then after like 30 seconds, it's like it literally feels like you could just roll your eyes like into the back of your head. Like it feels like someone put WD-40 on your fucking eyes.
Yeah, I like that.
Yeah.
I like that.
So try them.
Yeah.
They work.
Okay, rotos. All right, I'll check that out.
Because that is a bad feeling to have the itchy eyes.
It's not great.
I used to get it so bad when I was younger that to the point that when I closed my eyes, it would feel like someone just put thumbtacks right in my pupils.
Yeah, it's just it's the tear duct. It's right here. It's this. Right at the base.
Yeah.
In the middle of the eye.
We're going to have to get some rotos on those tear ducts.
Okay. I can do that. Did anything interesting happen to me this weekend?
I didn't really do much. I played a lot of ranked, Black Ops, just like unbelievable sessions this weekend.
Really?
Yeah, I'm talking like 10-game win streaks.
Whoa, that's sick.
SR just funneling into the account.
What's SR?
In ranked, the way that ranked play is played is that you collect SR, which is like a virtual type of point.
Currency
Currency almost.
Yeah.
Yeah. And when you win games, you'll gain SR, and when you lose games, you'll lose SR.
It's the same when I play chess.
Exactly. Yeah, it's actually the exact same thing.
Cool.
Yeah.
I dig that.
Yeah.
Do you get more points if you beat a team that has a lot of SR?
Yes.
And they lose more.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So like if I'm Platinum 1, bordering Platinum 2, finally gonna break out of the hard stuck Plat 1 phase.
Yeah.
And we like last night we beat a team that was all Diamond players, which is higher than Platinum.
Do they use the same tier system as Delta? Sounds like it.
They do, yeah.
Actually?
Yeah.
No.
Yeah, because if you're top 250, I believe you're considered Delta 360. Imagine.
But you have to be specially invited by Activision itself. They write you a letter.
Yeah. If you get the Activision Amex Platinum,
yeah.
every time you spend points, you get 30 SR back.
Yeah, and whenever you sign up for one of those games, some guy knocks at your door and writes you a handwritten note.
If that was a thing, I would have 1000% get it.
Thank you for being Call of Duty 360.
Yeah.
You were one of our most valued customers.
Oh, man. I was fucking hounding Gardini. Did you see when Matt and Shane did an episode where they had the Verdansk Call of Duty box?
No,
you didn't see that.
I
was hounding Gardini, trying to figure out what was in it. And
I don't know what that means. What is it?
It's like in the game in Warzone Call of Duty, you can like unlock fucking chests where you get loot, like Fortnite, and they got sent one to use as promo.
A physical one.
They got sent a physical chest from Call of Duty.
Whoa, that is cool.
And I was like, what the fuck? I was like, that's sick. Why didn't we get one of those? What's in it? And he was like, nothing. And I was like, ah.
Actually?
Yeah, nothing was in it.
So it was just a prop?
It was just a prop.
There should have been something in it.
You'd think. Maybe a gun?
Candy? Yeah.
Imagine you open it up and there's just a fucking AR-15 in there. Like, whoa, Activision really splurged
Is this legal?
on their promo this year.
Do I need to register this firearm?
Oh, fuck.
What's the matter?
I got to call at the front door. I missed it. There goes the shades.
Oh, no.
There goes the sunglasses.
I mean, even if they had gotten inside,
they're gone. They're gone.
They would have been taken in the 45 minutes it's going to be before you're home.
Oh, man.
Someone's going to be shaking those and saying, oh, these sound polarized.
I know.
Oh, man.
Man, what else did I do this week? Oh, I saw Warfare.
How was that?
Good.
I'm excited to see that.
Sick.
I might just go alone.
Sick.
I think I'm going to go see that alone.
You should just go solo.
Dude,
the theater was empty. It was awesome.
That's cool. I got to say, I had some real problems sleeping this weekend.
Why?
Well, I think because...
Taking a break from the kush?
No. I was on it pretty heavy.
And couldn't sleep.
I have this lobster claw pipe
mm-hmm.
that I bought in Maine. It's red. It's a lobster claw. It's glass.
Which part of the claw are you smoking out of?
the smaller of the two pincers, right? So if it's like that, that's the lobster claw. The hole is here,
Interesting.
and then the rush is over here on this.
That's a good piece of glass.
It's great.
Yeah.
I love it.
How many pieces do you got, would you say?
Well, none. That's the only one. No, I've got like a couple one hitters maybe,
Yeah.
which are the ones you've talked about.
Yeah, you have those. Yeah, you have crack pipes.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. But I've retrofitted them for marijuana.
Yeah. Yeah.
With a crack pipe, all you have to do is you just bash the top half of the round globe in, and then you've got a bowl. But you should try to sand down the edges of the shattered glass, because those will grab at your nugs.
I was in a smoke shop the other day getting jewel pods, and they just had a bowl of just like meth pipes,
Really?
like the cylinder,
globe,
the tube
all
with
the way
with
around.
the globe. Yep.
So how does that work? You put the rock down in the through the whole thing, and then you just use the lighter beneath it?
I would assume.
So is the idea there that meth smoke and crack smoke are so valuable?
Yeah, you don't want to waste.
They
any.
don't want it going up into the atmosphere.
Yeah, you don't want to waste any. One time when I was fishing,
That's crazy.
One time when I was fishing, I was really young. I was with my grandfather and my dad, and we were fishing like off of like a dock in Cape Cod. And there was a dude who was fishing off the bridge right above the dock, and he was smoking a cigar. And he had this thing over his like face, like this like long hat, and then a thing that he like a strap that he wore around his nose. And he was smoking a cigar. And it was so that the smoke would stop when it got around his face and he wouldn't miss any of the smoke.
Come on.
I swear to God.
There's no way.
I swear to God.
That's not a
My
thing.
grandfather explained it to me the second we saw it. He was like, that's someone who's fully addicted to smoking cigars.
Well, heavens. I mean, just buy cheaper cigars.
Yeah.
No?
Yeah.
Huh. Do you know that fucking Ulysses S. Grant used to smoke 18 to 20 cigars a day?
That's fucking
Well,
insane.
he died of mouth cancer.
Yeah.
He had growth
Dude.
on his tongue. It was a horrible way to die.
That sounds like torture.
Yeah.
When we did me and Owen got selected for the Yak when we did the Super Bowl to smoke like, what was it? We had to smoke a pack of cigarettes in a day. Yeah. Something like that.
Ugh.
We didn't do it. Yeah, we didn't actually pursue it. I mean, we would take photos smoking the cigarettes, but like, even like pretending to smoke. I mean, we probably smoked 10 full cigarettes a day and then would like pretend to smoke 10 more.
I think
you would feel fucking awful.
I think I've smoked half a cigarette total in my whole life.
Really?
Dude, it hurts so much. I've never gotten through that feeling of a cigarette where it just does. It feels like it's punching you in the lungs.
Really?
Yeah, and I feel fortunate.
I feel that when I inhale a cigar. It's
Oh,
like someone
totally.
just fucking roundhoused your intestines.
Yes,
Yeah.
I get it absolutely with
Yeah.
that, but I also get it with a cigarette, and I don't feel the need to push through that because why would I?
Yeah.
I'm
Yeah.
deterred from ever smoking cigarettes.
Yeah, I haven't smoked a cigarette in over a year.
Yeah.
Definitely since I stopped drinking. Or no, that's actually not true. When we were filming the show I smoked like 5 cigarettes in a row the other day. But in my defense, those cigarettes are fucking the size of pixie sticks.
Was that for
It was
show?
for the show, yeah. They were using these like little thin, tiny like French cigarettes,
Mm-hmm.
like literally like the width of like a toothpick.
Yeah.
And we were filming like 3 lines, and I had to get a new cigarette every single time because they just would one hit, they'd be gone.
Wow.
Yeah, it was like the Tom and Jerry fucking. You smoke it in one pull.
Yeah.
It was funny. I love a cigar though.
Me too. You do?
Oh yeah.
That's something we have in common.
Yeah, we've done cigar hour on the podcast many times.
Oh my God. Well, you know what we should do?
What?
When can we go fishing?
Anytime, really. I mean, this is really like, to be honest, right now is like prime time for this
Really?
area. Like it's prime time for like Jersey.
What about my place upstate? Come
Your
up there.
place upstate, I would say fishing's probably good right now. I'd say it's
Housatonic.
probably good. It'll probably be good longer. Like it'll probably be good through. I wouldn't say end of July, but like mid July. It'll
Okay,
probably
so
be
June.
solid.
June's okay.
Yeah, but I got a busy June.
Why?
I feel like I got a bunch of shit in June.
No way.
Yeah.
That's prime cigar season.
No, August. Is prime
Fishing.
cigar season.
Mm. I got some good ones. We
Yeah.
could smoke some stogies. Yeah.
When we were in Wyoming last summer, we were in the town of Buffalo, Wyoming. Like
Sure.
that was like the closest actual town to us. And we would go to this, we went twice to this like sick sporting goods store where it's like you're in Wyoming. So it's like a fly shop, hunting, all that shit. And they just have like, I mean, for a gearhead, it's paradise walking in there.
Yeah.
And, we would go get flies. And then right across the street, they had like a real, like nice cigar shop.
Mm,
We would go in there and pick up cigars for the week.
that's cool.
And it was so nice. We got these like small little guys, thick small guys.
Nice.
Cigar hour every night.
Cigarillos, kind of, right?
Yeah.
Every time I'm flying back from some foreign country, I go into their duty free and I go into
yeah.
the humidor, the large walk-in cigar cavern. Man, I don't know what to buy. That's my problem.
That's my problem too.
And I get overwhelmed, and there are so many options, and some of them seem extremely expensive. I'm no aficionado.
No.
I don't need the best of the best.
But you kind of want to know what the best of the best is so you can know what sucks.
Yeah, exactly. And I think what I would say, if anyone really knows cigars, is that I like, a medium to light. I don't want my mouth to feel like Ulysses S. Grant's mouth.
Yeah.
All night long. I'd like to be able to taste my dinner.
Yeah.
So a light to medium, but also one that theoretically I could honestly have 2 cigars. Sometimes I like to have 2 cigars. You ever have 2 cigars?
No. Maybe on 4th of July one year.
Yeah.
Or when I graduated high school, I definitely smoked more than 2 cigars.
Really?
I was smoking cigars the whole day.
Oh, that's fun.
Yeah, it was fun. I remember driving Matt home from graduation, and we were smoking cigars in my car.
In your
It was
car?
awesome, yeah. Windows rolled down. It's great.
That's so fun. Was that a big deal for you?
Graduating high school?
Yeah.
Like I knew I was gonna graduate. Actually, that's not true at all. It was getting close at the end.
Really?
Yeah. But it was all bullshit. It was like I was bad at school, but like the teachers also didn't like me. And they would call my parents and tell them shit that I would be like, that's not going to happen. Like, that's just not true.
What would they say?
They would be like, well, currently Harry has they would be like, we had this thing called the portal where you could check your grades online.
Yeah.
And it would be very organized. Like you go down to the assignment. And in my math class, all of our assignments would be like due at like the end of like we get a bunch of assignments at once, and then they'd all be done at the same time. So it was like we were maybe like a month out from graduating, and there was only 2 assignments in the portal. One of them I didn't do. One of them I got like an 80 on. So my average grade was like I was failing. I had like a 30% of the class.
Yeah.
And the teacher called my parents and was like, Harry is a 30%. He's not going to graduate if it doesn't go up. Meanwhile, we have 9 assignments that I'm done with that are due in like a week. And I'm like, so obviously my grade is going to go up.
But couldn't they? Don't you think it's better that they were on top of it, reaching out to your parents? Because
all that does is that like I know I need to graduate high school. I'm not fucking like I knew that.
You just said that it was touch and go there for a second.
Well, it was touch and go in the sense that they called my parents and said that there's a chance I won't graduate.
There are a lot of teachers that wouldn't do that.
But in my head, I was like, I'm obviously my grade. I ended up getting like a B in the class.
Because they fought for you.
No, they didn't fight for me. They just, that teacher I think didn't like me.
Look, I think at this point we can all agree it takes a village.
No.
And
I would say it takes a village, but I'd say it also takes a village to destroy a child. And I'd say the village was out. They were out against me.
Yeah, but if the village had left you alone, that would have also destroyed you.
They were trying to bring me down.
Think about how sweet those cigars tasted in the car with Peters. Yeah, go ahead, take it.
Hello? Yeah. Hi, how's it going? Lease extension? Did you send it in mail or on email? Okay, I'll sign that and send it back today. Yeah, that's my bad. I apologize for that. Okay, sounds good. What was that? Okay, got it. Bye. Did you hear that?
Yes. You haven't signed.
That guy's a fucking asshole.
You haven't signed your lease
I'm
extension?
paying the rent.
It doesn't matter.
And now I thought I did, to be honest. Yeah, he gave me that exact same call last year. He's a fucking asshole. I told you about when he calls and he sounds like he's in the fucking mafia.
You are just living there fucking
They don't send an email or anything. I don't check my mail.
Everyone in New York knows when their lease ends.
Dude, that's crazy. I'm going to sign it, but I'm paying rent.
But they can't guarantee that you are going to pay rent if you are not. Basically, you're squatting. And if you didn't.
Squatting?
If you're not protected by a lease, they're not protected by a lease.
I've never had to. They do this every time, and every single time I end up being able to do it through email.
Dude, you need to fucking get your business manager. If your business manager is running your leases and stuff like that, you need to get him aware of when your lease ends.
Yeah.
So that you can re-up. You're gonna get screwed. They'll start showing your apartment and be like, "Sorry, dude, we've raised the rent and a new tenant is coming in."
Yeah.
I'm not even kidding you.
I'm not sweating it.
It's not a fucking dorm room in college where you're just guaranteed to be able to float in the wind like that, you know?
Yeah, I'm not too worried about it. I've lived there for over 3 years.
It's the West Village. It's not, you know.
Yeah, he's called me like that before,
nowhere.
And he said the exact same thing.
He was not happy.
Yeah, he's a dick.
If you couldn't hear it at home, Harry said, "I'm sorry about that." And he goes, "I'm not looking for apologies."
Yeah, he's like some old fucking Russian dude or something.
Yeah, I wouldn't fuck with that guy.
Yeah, I hate him.
I get it.
You don't talk to people like that. It's insane.
You didn't sign your lease extension.
Yeah, you email them and say, "Hey, could you sign the lease extension?"
He probably sent you.
They have not sent me a single thing.
Is there something in your mailbox?
Nope. That's what he said. I said, "Did you send it on email or did you send it in mail?" And he said, "We sent it in mail."
Yeah, man. I mean,
Shoot me an email.
It's a physical lease.
I didn't have to sign a physical lease last year.
I don't know what to say.
He emails me. He emailed me in March and he said, "Do you want to re-sign?" I said, "Yes." And then he said, "This is what the new rent is going to be." Went up $100. I said, "Perfect. I've been paying that rent since."
I get it, but
so throw me an email and say you still got to sign the lease.
Landlords
don't
in New
call
York,
me and be like, "I'm going to fucking murder you." We were close to that. We were close to people are on their way to your apartment right now. That's crazy. And I told you, I said last time he called me was a year ago, probably right around today. And he said he calls with this like threatening tone.
Yeah, because you are delinquent on lease signing.
He said you either pay or you get out. I pay on time every single month. Guy's an asshole. You don't call people like that. We're not living. It's not the 1970s anymore.
I don't know what to tell you. You're wrong here.
I'm not.
Yes, you are.
No,
Every other person I've ever met in New York knows to the day when their lease ends. And usually as that day approaches, there's a conversation between them and the owner or the landlord.
And there was.
Okay.
And there was.
And one where it's, yes, I intend to stay on. Great. Here's the rent. Great. And you sign the extension. Because if you're not, when your lease ends, dude, truly, you could do whatever you fucking want in there now. And they're not protected, I don't think.
Yeah, that sucks for them.
And what's more, theoretically, you're probably not protected by a lease. Meaning, if your heat stopped working, I think the landlords in New York are beholden to provide adequate heating and water and stuff like that. They wouldn't have to necessarily fix that because you're not even their tenant anymore.
Yeah.
You're just a guy who's handing them money so you can continue to sleep in a home.
Yeah. Technically, it's been 2 weeks.
Your lease ended at the end of March.
It starts, I think, a week into April.
Okay.
So that's a little bit of you don't think that's a little harsh?
2 weeks?
2 weeks, rent was paid on time.
I think that
shoot me shoot me an email, be like, "Hey, could you sign the lease and get it back to us?"
I get where he's coming from. Is all I'm saying.
I mean, I've never heard I've never heard anyone take the side of the landlord in this situation.
I'm just
That dude calling someone and saying that is insane.
well, he didn't say he's gonna kill you.
It was implied.
No, it wasn't.
It was implied.
No, that's a stretch.
It was implied. Keep your curtains closed tonight.
I heard
Stay
every
away
word
from
of
the
that
windows.
fucking conversation, and all he said was he was mad. He seemed mad that you were late. He said, "I don't want your apology."
That's not. It wasn't. I don't need the apology. Could you? It was. I don't want your fucking apology.
He didn't say fucking.
I don't want your apology.
Yeah.
Sign the lease or move out.
Well, listen.
He's sleeping in a fucking. He's in a castle somewhere up by Central Park.
This is all big talk on the phone. You bent the knee.
Oh yeah, because I don't want to die. I mean, that was crazy. You heard him.
I did.
Now you know I wasn't making it up last time when I said
I'm glad
called.
you took that phone call. This is what we're dealing with here. At some point, you're gonna have to grow up and smell the roses, brother.
Brother, I'm grown up and I've smelt the roses.
You're gonna have to start taking
The
responsibility.
roses have been sniffed.
for the parameters of your own lifestyle.
My life. You keep on describing my lifestyle like I live this fucking.
I'm not judging your lifestyle. I'm saying to preserve the lifestyle you like having.
We've all forgotten to sign a lease here and there. Shit happens. Paid the rent on time. You think that's what they would care more about? But I get it. I do need to sign the lease, and I'll go home and I'll sign it. I might leave a little note on the bottom. Say, call me like that again during work hours, and I'll fucking murder you.
Oh shit! Oh shit!
I mean, you don't just get to call people and say things like that.
He
It's
did
insane.
though. He did.
I'm gonna call him back.
Go ahead.
I'm gonna say, we got a problem here, Chief. Every landlords are just fucking pricks.
Can I ask you a question? If he saw this, he'd be pretty pissed.
You think he's gonna see this?
I mean, there's no.
If he sees this, he's gonna be pretty. He's gonna have a lot of problems with his.
I mean,
fucking-
yeah, you're taking some big swings at this guy.
He was taking some big swings at me.
He wasn't that swinging hard.
As an American, I have the right to go on my podcast and talk shit about my landlord.
Okay. Just saying.
Dude, the guy's 100,000 years old and he owns 800 buildings in New York. You think he's gonna find the podcast where we talk about my landlord with zero a way of identifying him? I don't even know what the guy's name is. That's the only time I've heard. That's the second time I've ever heard from my landlord.
Okay.
And both times it has gone exactly that way.
In all likelihood, he won't. But boy, oh boy, would I love to hear the conversation when he calls to say he listened to this episode.
I heard the show.
And I saw. Wait a minute. You're talking about that guy?
Yeah.
He's 100,000 years old?
Oh, yeah.
Then why are you afraid of him?
Because it sounds like he has ties to the Russian mafia.
All right. Well, then he's going to sick his goons on you.
He's going to.
For this episode.
I'm going to go outside. I'm going to get back to my apartment. There's going to be like 2 Escalades parked out front.
Yep.
Lights off.
Yep. 2
Francis.
low-riding
Francis, they're
BMWs.
following me.
Guys getting out. Guys get out in red Adidas tracksuits.
What's your address? I need somewhere to go.
You can come crash at me. You need to lie low for a bit.
I don't feel safe.
Yeah. Bring your console.
I mean, that's crazy. That's a crazy call to get.
I don't know. Maybe I'm wrong for. I'm not siding with your landlord. Okay.
Yeah. No, I get it. I need to get. I'm
Historically,
gonna go home and do it.
I do not get along particularly well with.
Maybe I'll say, hey, I'll sign the
landlords.
lease. Could we get a refrigerator? A refrigerator would be great.
Well, I don't think you have much leverage anymore as a result of being delinquent. You should have said, I'll happily increase the rent, stay on. You guys don't want to have to come in here, paint the apartment, show it, do all the stuff to get new tenants in here. You don't want to do that. All I'm asking for is a refrigerator.
It's not a bad idea.
That's
Should I
how
call
you
him
do
back?
that. And you would probably have had the foresight, or I could have told you to do something like that if you had told me when your lease ends. I hate to say this. I can actually help your life. And I want to.
My life doesn't need help.
But that's so stubborn of you.
It's really
Everybody's
not.
life could improve.
Yeah, everyone's life could improve,
And
but I don't think
again,
I'm reaching out.
you have
saying,
to understand,
Help me.
I'm
Help
not
me.
judging your life.
You
Maybe
are.
maybe
You
maybe
are.
I am a little
You
bit.
definitely are.
But with the intention of helping. I don't want to just leave you alone to
I mean, that
fucking
call,
rot and squalor. I want to help you avoid angry phone calls that stress you out from your Russian
Oh,
landlord.
I'm not stressed. I'm furious.
Yeah, there you go.
I'm ticked off.
I want to get you a new refrigerator. I want to get you better heating and...
Oh, my heat's... We don't need more. We don't need better heating.
No, I know.
We need less heating.
Air conditioning. I want to get you better air conditioning. I want to get you to a place where you're not getting bothered by your drunken, unattractive neighbor banging on your door. Create some situation. Let's get you a Ring camera. A Ring doorbell camera. By the way, I think somebody is sleeping in my place upstate. I'm not even gonna lie. Dude, my cleaning lady up there, I told her specifically, don't clean the second bedroom. Nobody's been in there.
Yeah.
And then she came and her other girl she was with, they changed the sheets and cleaned the second bedroom. And then they charged me accordingly. I know the rate for when the second bedroom needs to be cleaned versus
so
when it doesn't. And I said, hey, I just so you know, like I'm curious why you charge me the full rate. And she sent me a picture of the fucking spare bedroom bed, and it was all messed up.
Holy shit.
Somebody had gone in there
and
slept in there. And I'm like, what the fuck? So I got a little bit of a problem, and therefore I'm starting to think about putting a Ring camera in my house.
Well, that's
my
a
place.
much more serious situation than mine.
No, it's not. It's not. I don't have the Russians after me.
Yeah, that's true.
At worst, I have some kids who are banging on my extra bedroom.
That's still bad. I'd be way more worried about that.
I'll take that over a Molotov cocktail through my second-story window any day of the week in the West Village. Holy shit, dude.
They're gonna send a brick through my fucking window.
Yeah, they are, man. A bottle of fucking Svedka.
Dude, that call is nuts. I mean, that's crazy.
Yeah.
I mean, I couldn't have been more polite. Oh yeah, that's my apologies. I'll get that to you today. I don't want your fucking apology.
Mm-hmm.
It's either the lease or your head on a fucking steak.
All right. I have something I have to read you.
You want it the chemical way.
I need to read you something.
It's like The Town.
Okay, hold on a second. NYC.
Stop by anytime. I live at 5. Wait, what does he say in The Town? He's like, I live at 5.
Okay, you ready for this? Oh my God, dude. You ready for this? Okay. I'm just going to issue a trigger warning to our listeners. I'm going to read you guys a story from the news of something that just happened in New York City, and it's incredibly disgusting. Okay?
Okay. This just happened?
It just happened. One of the more grotesque U.S. crime stories of late unfolded on a southbound R train near the Whitehall Street station in Manhattan at about 12:20 a.m. on Wednesday, when an unidentified individual had sexual contact with an unconscious and unresponsive adult male in plain view of surveillance cameras. A man sexually violated a corpse on a New York City subway train after stealing from the body, becoming the second of 2 people to rob that particular dead person.
Oh.
So a guy dies on the subway.
And he's just there.
And he's just dead, sitting there, dead, unresponsive.
And then people just start fucking him?
Someone comes up, robs him, and then another guy comes up, robs him again, and fucks him.
And this is all happening on the subway.
He fucks his dead body.
Yeah.
A person told me this at dinner a couple nights ago.
Oh, I thought this just happened.
It happened on April 12th. That story's from April 12th. That to me, that's in the scope of how disgusting and horrible that story is. I would say that that just happened.
Yeah, that's pretty fucked. And that was on the R train?
On the R train at 12:20. I mean, that's not even the dead of night. That's got to be some commuters are there. Whitehall.
Where does the R train go?
Into Brooklyn. Whitehall, I think, is the last station in Manhattan on the R before you switch over to Brooklyn.
Interesting. I don't know if I've ever taken the R.
It's down in like
more of a one guy.
I
tried to stick with the numbers.
Yeah, you're a local guy. You don't ever go to Brooklyn.
That's fucked.
So that happened.
Anyways, this is me and my landlord.
Charlestown with a gun? You guys run numbers and pump dope. You're an old guy with a fucked up face who don't know his glory years are behind him. I ain't fucking working for you. Got it?
You're gonna do as I ask.
551 Bunker Hill Street. Stop by any time. You know where to find me. You're gonna do this for me? I'm gonna clip your nuts. Like I clip your daddies.
That's me and my landlord.
Which one's your landlord?
The florist.
You're
the old guy.
Ben Affleck.
I live at 5-5.
You guys run numbers.
I live at 5-5 Bunker Hill. Stop by anytime.
He definitely knows where you live.
Yeah. Yeah.
All right.
You know where to find me.
Well, I hope you
I'll
are
clip your
okay.
nuts.
Go sign that lease.
I'm going to go
okay?
sign that lease.
Get that over to him. And
He wants that lease bad.
Mm-hmm.
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 I'm going to send him a photo of it.
That's it?
I'm going to send him a photo of it, like me, like teasing, putting it in the mailbox. Oh.
Sign it in pencil. Oh, shoot. I just realized.
I'm going to sign it in blood.
It said it needed blue or black ink. I used a number 2 pencil.
What do you mean Ticonderoga doesn't hold up? I haven't gotten my paws on a good Ticonderoga in a minute.
Those are nice.
You dent your fingernails into them.
There was a moment where school classrooms went from the hand-wound pencil sharpener that basically just broke the pencil
Oh, yeah, shredded it.
every single time.
Yeah, cracked
It's like
it.
sticking into the mouth of a beaver.
Yeah.
To the electronic ones where they came out, fucking, you could have done
razor
surgery
blade,
with those
razor
things.
blade sharp.
Yeah,
Nothing better.
nothing better. Oh my God, those perfect ones. And you knew when it was done too, because it would be, at first
It
it'd be
would stop.
like,
Yeah.
and then it'd be like,
Yeah, it'd get a little dull.
Yeah. No, it wouldn't have anything to bite anymore. So then you pull it out, blow on it.
Fresh as a daisy.
Yeah, that was the good stuff. That good scent, pencil shavings. Then you pull out the little brown drawer,
Yeah.
dump the pencil shavings in the trash. Those were good days.
Those were good days.
Those were good days.
All right.
Okay.
I got to go sign this lease.
I'll be in West Nyack on Sunday, New York, at Levity Live, one show. And then I'll be in Kansas City the following weekend, then Dallas in May, and Chicago in early June. I think the downtown Zany shows are sold out. Come see me in Rosemont at Zany's. And I can't wait. Can't wait for Chicago. That's going to be awesome. All these shows, Dallas, can't wait. I'll see you guys on the road at punchup.live/Francis Ellis. What do we got for you here, Ball?
Just Philly. I'm going to be in Philly in a couple weeks. I think it's May 8th. I'm doing 5 shows there. HarrietSettleWebsite.com. Edmonton, I will be back. I got to get a new date on that. But yeah, obviously I can't get to Canada right now. And I'll probably go back to Winnipeg too. So I'll be back, Canada. I'm not leaving. I'm not abandoning you guys.
This is what I'm saying. Like, no
I love your
passport,
country.
can't travel, doesn't have his lease signed. I'm judging a little bit, but I want to help.
That was just poor timing.
Your
That's all that
handle
was.
on your own life bureaucry
I will
is
say
nil.
No, my handle on my life is actually pretty solid. I will say that call did not make it seem that way. And I have to go sort that out.
All right.
Thank you.
See you guys.
Goodbye.
Nice. Hilarious.